Hello YouTube, this is Corbin22 here, back with another 100 point squadron build for Star Wars X-Wing miniatures. Tonight, I had a bit of a stroke of genius. Well, I guess you wouldn't say it's a stroke of genius, but it's a thought that came to my mind. So I started thinking about, some of the elite ships and the elite pads and their special abilities, namely Wedge Antilles, and his ability to reduce his enemy's agility value by 1, which essentially makes Wedge a natural bomber killer. It got me thinking, well, Wedge's ability is pretty lethal, but what happens if I were to combine it with another ability that makes him even more lethal, like, say, combining his ability with Opportunist? Well, I started thinking, and I remember that there are some other cards that also allow for this kind of Wedge Antilles, this kind of pseudo effect. So, what I've done is I've gathered a squadron here, consisting of 3 ships, an X-Wing, an A-Wing, and a B-Wing, all piloted by Wedge Antilles, Tycho Celchu, and Keyan Farlander. So here are the ships, here are their pilots. Let's look at their stats. It's a pretty simple build, when I look at it, but a complex build isn't always the best thing. Like sometimes it's better to have a few ships with few upgrades rather than just a couple ships or even just one ship with a lot of upgrades, because it's all about balance, I guess you could say. So this build focuses on reducing your opponent's agility value while causing them to receive ion damage or stress or causing them to receive ion damage or stress, and overall just basically making so that your attacks have a greater chance of hitting. So we'll start with the squadron leader of this build. The squadron leader of this build is none other than Rogue Leader himself, Wedge Antilles. Wedge Antilles has a pilot skill of 9. He flies the Incom T-65 X-Wing fighter. He has an attack value of 3, an agility value of 2, a hull value of 3, and a shield value of 2. He can take on the focus and lock-on action. He costs 29 squadron points, and he's able to take on an elite pilot skill upgrade, a warhead upgrade, and an astromech upgrade. His ability states, when attacking, reduce the defender's agility value by 1 to a minimum of 0. So yeah, Wedge's natural ability makes him an instant bomber killer, because most bombers and heavy assault ships only have an agility value of 1, or sometimes even 0 if you're playing with the decimator. So Wedge is especially handy against dealing with those kinds of ships, because that basically means that they can't roll defense dice, and that allows you to score an even a greater chance of hitting your opponent. Now, first upgrade, this is what I've done. This is how I've made Wedge even more dangerous. The first upgrade I've given him is Outmaneuver. And Outmaneuver states, when attacking a ship inside your firing arc, if you are not inside that ship's firing arc, reduce its agility value by 1. See what I've done here? Wedge's natural ability, regardless of what angle he attacks, reduces the enemy's agility value, making it easier for his attacks to making it more likely for his attacks to hit. But with Outmaneuver, it makes Wedge even more dangerous, because if Wedge is outside their firing arc, and he's at range 1, not only will he get that attack bonus, he will also reduce their agility value by 2. So Outmaneuver, because he's outside the firing arc, will reduce the agility value by 1, and then Wedge's natural ability will stack on top of that, making so that, say, not even an X-wing not even an X-wing will be able to roll a TIE bomber or a TIE Punisher, or any ship that has an agility value of 2 will not be able to roll defense dice, because of Wedge's ability stacked with Outmaneuver. So yeah, with this particular build, I've turned Wedge into one hell of a bomber and assault killer. Heck, if played right, Wedge could even be a fighter killer, like just a standard fighter killer. Now, for his astromech, I've chosen to give him R5K6. And R5K6 states, after spending your target lock, roll 1 defense die. On a evade result, immediately acquire a lock-on to that same ship. You cannot spend this target lock during this attack. So with Arc 5, even with the card Outmaneuver and Wedge natural ability, there is still a chance that I could possibly miss. And target locks kind of help to remedy that. However, it would be even better if I had R5. If I have a droid like R5 constantly being able to get me lock-ons every time I attack, or spend every time I spend my lock-on. And then, of course, with that done, I can immediately just, for the next turn, immediately just get a focus action. That way I have a lock-on and a focus, which basically makes will make my chances of hitting almost 100% with Wedge Antilles. So, yeah, Wedge Antilles with his ability, come out with Outmaneuver and R5K6, pretty much guarantees that Wedge is going to hit his target without fail, provided you get some good dice rolls. But then again, that's what the focuses and lock-ons are for. Now, for the next ship I've chosen, I decided to go with Tycho Celchu. Tycho Celchu has a pilot skill of 8. He flies the RZ-1 A-Wing Interceptor. He has an attack value of 2, an agility value of 3, a hull value of 2, and a shield value of 2. He can take on the focus, lock-on, boost, and evade actions. He costs 26 squadron points, and he's able to take on an elite pilot skill upgrade and a missile upgrade. His ability states, you may perform actions even when you have stress tokens. So again, a lot of people love Tycho for this ability because of his ability. He can perform actions even when he's stressed. So even though he just did a K turn, he's still able to boost to get closer, evade for a greater chance to evade the shots, lock on for an even greater chance of hitting, or focus to, alter the dice results if they land on focus results. And add to the fact that he has a pilot skill of 8, which means he'll be able to attack right after Wedge Antilles' attack. Now for his first upgrade, I've chosen the title card. Get to focus. I've chosen the title card, A-Wing Test Pilot. It's a title card exclusive only to the A-Wing, and it states, your upgrade bar gains 1 elite pilot skill upgrade icon. You cannot equip 2 of the same elite pilot upgrade cards, and you cannot equip this card if your pilot skill value is 1 or lower. So for a cost of 0, I'm able to have Tycho take on 1 extra elite pilot skill, provided that it's not the same, provided that it's a different one from his previous elite pilot skill. So I can't have 2 outmaneuvers. I can have an outmaneuver and a predator, but I can't have 2 outmaneuvers, which is fine, because the cards I've chosen, the upgrades I've chosen for him, kind of make him, it'll make him behave more like Wedge with these cards. So the first upgrade I've chosen for his missile upgrade, I've chosen to give him a Chardaan refit, which has a negative squadron point cost, so which means that Tycho now only costs 24 points, and it allows for that those extra 2 points can be used to, get an extra astromech or an extra upgrade or title or whatever. Chardaan refits have become a personal favorite for A-Wing users. Now for his first elite pilot skill, I've also given an outmaneuver, which again allows him to reduce the enemy's agility value by 1 as long as they're outside their firing arc. For his next elite pilot skill, I've given him Opportunist. An Opportunist states, when attacking, if the defender does not have any focus or evade tokens, you may receive 1 stress token to roll 1 additional attack die. You cannot use this ability if you have any stress tokens. So see what I've done here? With Opportunist, I receive a stress, and Tycho gets an attack value of 3, similar to that of the X-Wing. And if he is at range 1, that means he'll get an attack value of 4, just like Wedge Antilles. And of course, Outmaneuver allows him to reduce the enemy's agility value by 1, which basically makes him a pseudo Wedge Antilles. Like, Opportunist gives him that +3, gives him that +1 attack for 3 total, or 4 if you're attacking at range 1. In Outmaneuver, as long as he's behind the opponent, he'll be able to reduce the enemy's agility value, again, making sure that Tycho's shots are guaranteed to hit. So, yeah, while Wedge Antilles might be the new fighter killer with the build I've got for him, Tycho also becomes a bomber killer thanks to his ability, or thanks to Outmaneuver and Opportunist, and thanks to Tycho's ability to perform actions while he's stressed, allows him to get set up for an even better angle of attack. And then, of course, he can perform pretty much any maneuver he wants. He can pretty much perform any maneuver he wants, because most of his maneuvers are green maneuvers, so that makes getting rid of the stress pretty easy, allowing him for another red maneuver or another hit for Opportunist. Now for the final pilot I've chosen a ship I got from the Rebel Aces pack, Keyan Farlander. Keyan Farlander has a pilot skill of 7. he flies the B-wing assault fighter. He has an attack value of 1. Attack value of 3. Sorry, an agility value of 1, a hull value of 3, and a shield value of 5. He can take on the focus, lock-on, and bearable actions. Like Wedge, he costs 29 squadron points, and he's able to take on an elite pilot skill upgrade, a systems upgrade, a cannon upgrade, and 2 warheads. His ability states, when attacking, you may remove 1 stress token to change all of your focus results to hit results. So Keyan is a like with Antilles, who's able to fire warheads outside her firing arc. Keyan Farlander is a very dangerous is one of those shits where you want to stress him out, and the reason for that is because say you want to stress him out, get him into a good range and get angle of attack, and then of course it'd be better if he's at range 1 because then I'll get that +1 attack bonus for a total attack value of 4. And then, of course, he'll be stressed. Outmaneuver, reduce the enemy. Then he'll be stressed, and then he can spend that stress. He can spend that stress token like he would a focus token to change all of his focus results into hit results. So with Keyan Farlander, it basically turns stress into an advantage. It eliminates the need of you to. It basically eliminates the need of having a stress token, or of having a focus token to change your results, because now stress tokens have that. Now stress tokens have that ability. So again, with Keyan, you want to stress him out. You want to have him do K turns, hard turns, and a straight ahead 4 maneuver, because those are all red maneuvers, and you want to stress this guy out so that he can spend that stress token as a focus token. A very nifty, very nifty, and very useful ability if played right. Now for his first weapon, his first upgrade, I'm giving him a cannon, the Ion Cannon. It has an attack value of 3, can be used at range 1 to 3. It states, attack 1 ship. If this attack hits, the defender suffers 1 damage and receives 1 ion token, then cancel all dice results. So with Keyan Farlander here, since he's a pilot skill of 7, he'll be the last one to attack, and his ion cannon will ensure that the enemy is disabled, allowing for Wedge, Tycho, and Keyan to circle back and attack from a better angle, which is good because, like with all the other ships here, I've also given him Outmaneuver, which will reduce the enemy's agility value by 1 if he's outside the firing arc. So with these cards, I can have Keyan attack with his ion cannons, disable the ship, and then have pretty much all of them perform a K turn. Preferably not with Tycho, because Tycho has Opportunist. They can all attack. Wedge will go first with his ability plus Outmaneuver, and then if he spends his target lock, you can roll your defense dice and get it on an evade result, get another target lock that you can spend on the next round. Tycho, you can use Outmaneuver. You can use Outmaneuver to lower his agility value, and then you can stress him out with Opportunist to get that additional attack bonus. And then with Keyan Farlander, if he does a K turn, that's awesome. That's great because he'll be outside the enemy's firing arc, which will allow for Outmaneuver to reduce enemy's agility value. And then, of course, he'll be ionized, so it won't be able to go very far. And then, of course, with his ability to basically retreat stress tokens as focus tokens, yeah, this is if used correctly, this can be a very dangerous build. So yeah, I pretty much just went over the build's strengths. They all basically benefit from attacking outside the enemy's firing arc, so attacking from their sides or behind, and also a couple of them kind of benefiting from stress, whereas Tycho can do abilities with stress, even with stress, and Keyan basically treats stress tokens as focus tokens, eliminating the need for focus tokens. Their weaknesses, the most notable weaknesses are the enemy's defensive value, defensive capabilities. The X-Wing is a balanced fighter. However, it has a decent agility value, but it only has 5 hit points. 3 hull and 2 shield, so it can go down with a handful of hits. The A-Wing's even worse. It's got a higher than average agility value, which is good for evading enemies at range, especially at range 3. But he only has 2 hull and 2 shield, so 4 hit points total. So he'll go down to even less shots than Wedge. With Keyan, his biggest disadvantage is his agility value. He's got lots of defense. He's got 3 hull and 5 shields for a total of 8 hit points, but he only has 1 agility value. That makes him susceptible to enemy ships like Wedge Antilles or other ships that have the Outmaneuver card. But again, He benefits from stress, allowing him to use them. He benefits from stress, allowing him to use the stress as focus. So, yeah. As for a name, I'm going to call this build. Two of them benefit from stress, but they also benefit from attacking from behind. Kind of torn between. What should I call this build? I guess I could call this build 100% accuracy. No, that sounds stupid. I guess I could call this precision outmaneuver. Precision outmaneuvering. Precision hits. Yeah, no. A better shit. I'm gonna call this build my precision build. Yeah, that works. Precision build. So yeah, this is my precision build. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Any constructive criticism is greatly appreciated. If you like, you may use this build in any competitive or casual play, or you may tweak it or completely revamp it to your own specifications. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Corbin22, signing off.